Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 7, Conservation of Plants and Animals. The term conservation means conservation or protection of animals and plants. It is our responsibility to protect the ecosystems. Each and every organism is essential for the sustenance of human beings. So when we say ecosystem, it is the relationship between the plants, animals, even microbes, and the entire organisms in the world should interact each other. Then only the life and the earth will be maintained. Sometimes you may ask whether the tiger is a killer. So is it essential for us to conserve tiger or lion in the forest? Because it always hunts and it causes harm to other organisms. But when we discuss this chapter, we will understand that each and every species in the earth is interrelated each other. They are acting as a important link in the food chain and in turn the food web, and they interact each other and play an important role in keeping all the organisms in the earth. So it is our responsibility to protect plants as well as animals, along with useful or useless. We may think that it is useless, but there are important roles for each and every organism in this earth. Then only the earth can be sustained, or it can sustain by itself. Then we will have to think, so how can we protect all these animals and plants? Because of the activities of human beings, their need as well as their greed gradually leads to the reduction in the number of plants and animals, that in turn now we are facing with many natural calamities. And what are the main reasons for the destruction of the natural habitat of plants and animals? So we will discuss more in detail regarding that. First and foremost important characteristic feature of this is deforestation. Deforestation means clearing of forest and using that land for other purpose. So you can see in this chart many reasons. So some of them: forest fire, felling of trees, cutting of trees, making furniture, and construction of dam, construction of building. And in the name of ecotourism, we are cutting the trees and constructing resorts, and more people are entering inside that area and destroying the natural habitat of plants and animals. So collectively, all these activities leads to rapid decline in the area of forest. So that term is called as deforestation. Then what are the main causes when we deal in detail? We can broadly divide the causes into two major categories. The first one is natural causes. That means without the influence of human beings. How the natural calamities, or from the nature itself, how the destruction is taking place. Then the second category is how the human being, their activities can accelerate the process of deforestation. The first one, it is natural causes. There are two main categories under that: forest fire and severe droughts. So forest fire is accidental uh, happening only because of increase in temperature. Sometimes the trees or the branches will rub each other. In that rubbing effect, sometimes the fire will emerge out. So once it is started, it will spread rapidly and the whole area may become or will transform into ashes within no time. So along with that forest fire, the birds, the monkeys, the animals, the microbes in the soil, the whole ecosystem may get destroyed. The second one, it is drought. Because of this climatic changes, the unpredictable seasonal variations, all these things may end up with many changes. The second category of deforestation is human activities. Anthropogenic, we'll say. That means human beings are involved in that and their activities results in deforestation. In that, the first main reason is procuring the land or clearing the land for construction of buildings and other resort such activities. The second one, for constructing factories and houses, etc. Human beings are involved in such activities. The third one, using wood for fuel and furniture. So cutting the trees and then making the furniture. Then the next topic we are coming under, what will be the consequence of deforestation when we are cutting the trees and clearing the forest and making that in different purposes? What will be the effect, how it is going to affect our earth? So the first and foremost, it is global warming. This we will discuss more in detail. Okay, that means that whole atmospheric temperature will increase due to increase in level of carbon dioxide. How the carbon dioxide is increasing? Because we know already the plants, they utilize the carbon dioxide and they will do the photosynthesis. When the trees are cut off, then the photosynthesis rate will be decreasing. So the more amount, the animals will respire the carbon dioxide and there is no fixation of carbon dioxide because photosynthetic activity will be reduced. So as a result, the atmospheric carbon dioxide will increase, and when the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing, it will automatically reflect the UV radiation, solar radiations. So when it is reflecting and again it is coming out, and the cycle will repeat, as a result the total atmospheric temperature will increase. Then along with that, when the trees are less, the transpiration, that means the release of water vapor through the stomata, that activity will be less. So this water vapor, when it is accumulating in the atmosphere, that will results in the formation of more moisture content, and that will accumulate in the form of clouds and the rain occurs. So when there is no plants, no forest, no trees, automatically the rainfall will go down, and also that will deplete the groundwater level. Then the third one, it is decrease in fertility of soil. That means due to all these climatic changes, lack of rain and all, the decomposer level will be less, and the humus accumulation also will be less. Humus accumulation means the dead and fallen leaves will accumulate on the topsoil, and they will be activated by decomposers, and the humus content will be more. So when there is no trees, when there is no plants, there won't be any humus. So that will deplete the nutrient content in the soil. So as a result, the whole soil nutrient will be less. So automatically the plants will be deficient of nutrients. So it results in droughts as well as floods. Floods, how it is floods coming means if there is no trees, then global warming, polar ice caps will melt. And then occasionally and suddenly, nowadays Kerala we are facing with often the floods. So suddenly the level, the floods will come and the water flow also will be prevented, and that can create lot of calamities. Then the next one, it is when the trees or the forest is gradually disappearing, automatically the wildlife, their habitat, fragmentation will say, their habitat, their nest, their food, everything will be disrupted. So gradually the biodiversity, the total amount of animals, plants, etc., gradually will decrease. So what will be the next option? How can we bring it back into the normal? That term is called as reforestation. Reforestation is the process of replanting new trees in the depleted forest. So in that place, we can add, or we can plant more and more plants and trees and all. So then automatically we can bring this deforested area back into a forest area. Then global warming. So global warming, I said already, we will discuss it more later, little more, because nowadays the main reason for seasonal fluctuations is the global warming. So what do you mean by global warming? Global warming is the change in climate that occurs at the global level. The whole earth or the whole world is nowadays facing with unpredictable climatic changes. And in most cases, it refers to the increase in average temperature of the planet. Then ice caps. As a result, what will happen when the temperature increases, the Himalayan ranges and all fully covered with ice caps that will melt. And when it is melting, it will come out in the form of suddenly the floods, unpredictable floods, we can say. So it will wipe out the whole area there, irrespective of plants, animals, trees, everything will be wiped out. Then we will move on to another one. When there is destruction in the habitat, what will be the next automatic? The plants and animals especially, they will migrate. So what do you mean by migration? They will move from stressed area to a more comfortable area. So migration is defined as the periodic movement that many animals engage in the form of one place to another. So in Kerala and all, we can see during November, December season, the birds will migrate from Siberian crane and different types, Siberia, because there it is very cold at that time, winter season. So they cannot survive there. So the whole group will migrate to our place. Here it is of moderate climatic conditions. So they will come here, they will lay the egg and they will hatch out, and their chicklings, along with the chicklings, they will move back to their place. So that movement is called as migration. So it is commonly done for the purpose of breeding and to escape hard climatic condition. And many of the birds, fishes engage in migration. So you might have heard about, among fishes itself, the migration of salmon. So they will migrate kilometers of sea, and then they will move and they will come back to the river for laying the eggs. Then after laying the eggs, the whole fries means the small fishes, they will migrate back to the to the sea. So they will, from the sea, they will move to the river, and then from there they will move back to the sea. Same way, eels also, another one. Eels, they are living in the fresh water, and they'll move to the sea to lay the eggs. And after that, the young ones, they will go back to the river. Same way only the Siberian cranes and many other birds, they will migrate to a more comfortable area. Then we'll move on to the biodiversity, the term. Already we have discussed all these points, but even the term-wise definition we can discuss. That is, biodiversity refers to the variety of animals, like plants, animals, microbes also, even bacteria, small fungi. All these are living in an interactive manner. By the death and decay of plants and animals, the microbes will act on, they will convert that one into simple soluble forms. Then the other plants can utilize, they will photosynthesize, they will prepare the food for the animals. Then animals and plants by death and decay, the cycle will go on. So it is essential to conserve the biodiversity, the plants, the animals, the microbes, everything. It is our responsibility to conserve it. And loss of biodiversity and extinction of wildlife results in imbalance in nature. Therefore, there is a need for protection of biodiversity. That means we have to protect different varieties of plants, animals, and even microbes, especially useful bacteria, decomposers, etc. How can we, um, along with that itself, again, another term only already we discussed, desertification. So these loss of biodiversity due to our activities, natural activities and all, it can turn up if we are not protecting our negligence in all these and our greediness, our activities, lack of prudence in maintaining all these things may end up with desertification. So what do you mean by desertification? It is deforestation changes the soil property. Already I said the fertility will be less if then floods, then sometimes drought. So all these unpredictable seasonal variations and changes and activities may result in erosion of the soil and the lack of plants. So along with the flood, the soil will be shifted to from one place to another. So the habitat of the plants and animals will be lost, and all the topsoil will be exposed to hard rocky layers. Along with that, lack of rain, drought. So the whole area gradually it will become a barren land. Barren land means same like in the figure it is given, without any plants, without any animals, without any microbial colonies. The whole area will become just an empty land without any symptom of living organisms. So that is the drastic effect of loss of biodiversity. That is called as desertification. Gradually, the whole forest area may transform into a desert without plants, animals, microbes, and other organisms. So, it is our responsibility to protect the whole area. So, protected areas, we can say, with the influence of government and other forest authorities and all, we can protect the animals, plants, and the whole area. Such areas we can collectively call as protected areas. So in that, main three categories are coming under that: the national park, wildlife sanctuary, and bioreserves. So first we'll move into wildlife sanctuaries. So wildlife sanctuaries means mainly is to provide protection to animals in a particular prescribed area. So these are the reserved forests which provide protection and natural living conditions to wildlife animals. So the entire area will be protected. In that area, only with limitations, the people can enter. They can visit in the prescribed time. So this main example, it is given Panchmari Wildlife Sanctuary, Madhya Pradesh. So there mainly different types of animals are protected: chingara, blue bull, and then barking deer, cheetah, leopard, and wild dog. Different types of animals are protected under with the help of government authorities. And the people are prevented from hunting and poaching and killing the animals. And the laws are implemented to prevent all these human activities. Just for our uh, entertainment, we can enter into that sanctuaries and we can observe the plants and animals, but we cannot destroy them. We cannot disturb them. Without disturbing them, they are provided their natural environment for their maximum multiplication. And these are the few examples which are given, that is Kasiranga National Park, Jim Corbett Park, then Bandipur National Parks, then Bagwada National Park, Khana National Park, with their location and what they are famous for. This is national park, a list of national parks. One-horned rhino, Bengal tiger, birds, tigers, elephant, gore, and tigers, Nilgai, not Nilgiri, Nilgai, tigers, Barasinga. All these are the main animals. They are respectively protected in different areas. So national parks. So what is the main features of national park? So in Satpura National Park, Madhya Pradesh, the figure is given. Different types of plants also, plant animals are given. So here national parks means they are the areas where we preserve a set of ecosystems. That means not only the animals. Wildlife sanctuary, it is only animals are protected and given more importance. But in national park, it is the whole area, ecosystem itself. That's why the water body, the land, the plants, the animals. That is why the landscape, land, flora, fauna. Flora means plants, fauna means animals, and historic objects. If any monuments or any objects are there, means that also will be protected. So example, it is Satpura National Park in Panchmari itself. Then the next one, biosphere reserves. Biosphere reserves means it is huge, large area, very wide area. It is meant for conserving the biodiversity, then culture of tribal people. That means Adivasi. Their culture, their living, their resources, without the intervention of modern people. So they will have the freedom to explore their area, and they will protect the plants, then they will protect the animals, and it is the largest of all protected areas, and it contains other protected areas in it. In that itself national park can be there. In that particular place itself there can be which one, the wildlife sanctuaries will be there. So these areas, very large areas, the whole ecosystem, everything together, it is collected. So Panchmari Biosphere Reserve consists of Satpura National Park and two wildlife sanctuaries called Bori and Panchmari. So that is what I said, the whole area. Within that itself, there can be national park, wildlife sanctuaries, etc. So that whole area collectively is protected, very large area, then it is called as biosphere reserve. So there the whole biosphere, that means life supporting zone, the atmosphere, then the land area, then the plants, the animals, the whole area, even the tribal people are protected in that area. So here I have given a map of India. There the many biosphere reserves are marked. So in India there are approximately 9 biosphere reserves are there. Nilgiri, it is in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka mountain ranges, Nilgiri. So 3 states are together, it is called as Nilgiri. Then Gulf of Mannar, Sundarbans, Nanda Devi, Nokrek, then Panchmari, Simlipal, then Achan Kumar, then Great Nicobar. So all these are the major biosphere in India. In that itself, again, it consists of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. In Kerala, when we are coming into, there are quite a lot of national parks. Very few I have marked it here. That is Anamudi Sholai National Park, then Madhigedan Sholai National Park, Sai Valley National Park, then Periyar National Park, Eravikulam National Park, then Pambadum Shola National Park, etc. So in the Kerala, it is marked as 1, 2, 3, 4, and that are the main areas. Then when we'll move on to the endemic species. So in each and every area, there are a special type of animals or plants, they are conserved in that area. So when you are moving into Munnar, Devigulam or Eravikulam National Park, we'll say, in that the Nilgiri Thar is preserved as the endemic animal. That means it is a Varayadu in Malayalam, we'll say. So Nilgiri Thar, the importance is they can live only in the higher altitude, that is more than 3,000 feet. So in our land area, normal area, in plain area, we cannot find that Nilgiri Thar, Varayadu. And they are living in that area, very few in number. So it is our responsibility, it has to be protected. So that place, the Nilgiri Thar, is protected within the Eravikulam National Park. The same way only the plants, when we are saying the Neela Kurinnigal, Strobilanthes, we'll say. That is, they'll bloom all of a sudden. The whole mountain range that is in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, mountain range, full it will be covered with bluish colored flowers. So once in 12 years, there are some varieties. Once in 7 years, there are some variety. They'll bloom only once in that particular number of years. Once in 12 years, most common. So every 12 years, the whole mountain will become, all of a sudden, it will become blue in color. Hence, that mountain range itself is named after that, Nilagiri. Okay, the same way, there are many places, certain animals and certain plants are seen only in that area. So such animals are called as endemic animals. So endemic animals are those species of plants and animals which are found exclusively in that particular area. So when we are taking Panchmari Biosphere Reserve, there sal, then wild mango. Sal means cannonball tree, we'll say. Okay, small, big cannonball-like structures. That is called as sal. Then wild mango, bison. Then Indian giant squirrel. Malayalam will say. Then flying squirrel. All these are the endemic species in Panchmari. In Munnar, when we are saying it is Neelakurinni and the Varayad, that means Nilgiri Thar and Strobilanthes. So each and every place there are certain species which are endemic or which are found only in that area, nowhere else in our place. So it has to be protected. So that is why we are keeping or we are making this protected areas. It will be preserved there or it will be conserved there. Next one, more or less the same way, only endangered animals. That means at present there are numbers, but in near future they may get extinct. So that group of animals are called as endangered animals. Animals whose numbers are diminishing to a level that they may face extinction are known as endangered. So tiger, wild buffalo, barazinga, all these are the endangered animals. They may become extinct in near future if we are not protected at this moment. So this also can be protected very well in national parks, biosphere reserves, etc. under human care. Next one it is group is extinct animals. Extinct animals, and that means we cannot find not even a single species at present because they have become disappeared. They became disappeared. They became extinct already. The typical example is this one. Dinosaurs in Jurassic era. Dodo, monite. Then human species itself, Neanderthal man, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. All these were living in the past, but they have completely wiped out due to maybe due to natural calamities, maybe due to their natural predators, maybe due to hunting activities. So one or other reasons, those animals which were lived in the past are completely wiped out, and that is called as extinct animals. So I'll define here extinction can be defined as the phenomenon in which a species is completely wiped out from the face of earth. This means that one of the last living individual of the species dies, then the species is said to be officially extinct. So how can we categorize these animals? Because there is IUCN Red Data Book, International Union of Conservation of Plants and Animals, Natural Resources. That is IUCN. This is an organization from which is involves all the countries and their officials. And they formed an organization and they categorized the animals and plants into different categories, into different this one, and their details and their number and all their peculiarities are collected, and they have made one book, a list, a list of animals and plants, and they categorize them into 7 categories. That is the list of animals which became extinct in one book. Then the other one, extinct in the wild, in the forest, which is not seen and no data. Then critically endangered, that means within 5 years they may become extinct. Then the next one, endangered. Endangered means they are very, very less. Red panda and all endangered. That is very few in numbers at present. Then vulnerable. That means within 10 or 20 years, if we are not protecting, they also may become extinct, like that animals. Then the next one, it is near threatened. It more different species, which may within 50 years or 60 years, they may become extinct. Then least concerned. That means they are present everywhere. For the squirrel, no problem, because there are many in and around us, there are many squirrels are there. So like that way, it is categorized into 7 categories, and accordingly the plants and animals are summarized, their details and their number, their location, their behavioral patterns, everything they have recorded and made it into different volumes of books or list, we can say. So the red list book for fishes, red list book for amphibians, like that it is there. So that list, that is prepared by IUCN, collectively we'll call it as red data book. Then how can we, what is our role? Each and every person is having an important role in conserving the whole ecosystem and plants and animals. How can we play an important role? That is by following the 4R plan. So what do you mean by 4R plan? Recycle, reuse, reduce, recover. So recycle means many things which we are using nowadays. Throwing away culture only. So which instead of throwing away or destroying, we can use it again. That is called as reuse. Some plastic items and all, we can recycle it. Paper we can recycle. Plastic we can recycle. So certain things we can recycle. We can use it again by modifying. That is recycle. The next one, it is reduce. We can reduce the use of paper. Instead of throwing it here and there, we can use it again and again. We can use bags. We can make bags. So reuse or reduce the use. We can reduce the use of paper. Instead of that, we can send it through e-file. Nowadays all it is e-file only. Okay, so instead of using too much of papers, we can e-file it. Digitalization. So we can, so why the paper has to be reduced? It is said so because in order to make paper, we have to cut the trees. The paper is made from the tree pulp. So more and more number of trees has to be felled down or cut down for making paper. So it is reduce the resources. Then the next one, recover. Okay, we can recover it. We can plant more trees. We can make use of the maximum resources. So all these are the possibilities for conserving the natural resources. So under that, consume less paper, plant more trees, be compassionate towards animals. You can add more or refuse. Okay, you can say no. Sometimes too much of our buying culture. Okay, whether it is needed or not, we may buy many things, many dress materials, many paper, many books, So certain things we can reduce and we can refuse. And if anybody wants you to become a part of this destroying nature, you can add more and more hours into our lifestyle. Okay, so here I have given a this one. When we are throwing the waste, if you are separating it into different categories, plastic items alone one, in your house you can use this strategy. And decomposable things, the waste, vegetable waste and all, you can make it as compost. Then metallic plates and all, you can use it for recycling. Then paper and all, again you can give it for recycling. So in that way, if you are separating, segregating the waste, that is one way of responsibility we can show towards the society. Then other one, reuse of plastic bottles. You can use the same thing instead of buying each time your instrument box or your bag or your boxes, etc. You can use it, the used one, reuse. Okay, reusing the things. And fertilization, the waste, instead of throwing it here and there, you can reuse. So like that way you can modify our lifestyle. In that way we can also will become, can become or take part in the 3R or 4R strategy. So reuse, reduce and recycle. So with this I can conclude this lesson. Have a nice day. Thank you.